So you've heard of the carnivore diet and you've been researching it and you're even thinking about doing it. But what exactly is the carnivore diet and how do you get started? Well, this video is for you. The carnivore diet is simply eating meat, especially meat from ruminant animals, eating the animal fat and drinking water, salt, for seasoning, salt to taste. Some people will put some other seasoning in there, but for the most part, you should keep it to salt if you want to be completely strict carnivore. That said, there's a wide variety of meat, and you have to wonder, if you're getting the right amount of meat, the right amount of fat, all that kind of stuff. So, first of all, let's look at it in another light. Instead of saying, okay, what is the carnivore diet? Well, what do I not eat? So, do not eat any sugar, any plants, any plant material, plant based food, none of that. Um, no seed oils. Those are huge things right off the bat, right? Seed oils are really bad for you. Sugar is bad for you. Keep those right away. You want to cut those out right away. Plant-based material does not fit in a carnivore diet, right? So any type of plant-based foods, your vegetables, your fruits, that they don't really fit in the carnivore diet. It's understandable if some people want to have a little bit of that, but most people that are going to do well are going to be 100% carnivore and they're not going to eat any plant-based food. So you'll stay away from all plant-based foods. You're staying away from sugar. You're staying away from seed oils. So three big things right there that you're staying away from. Processed foods. Stay away from the processed foods as much as possible. Yes, there is meat that is processed and you could eat that. And realistically, it's better to eat that than it is to eat, anything that's got a lot of sugar in it that has um, seed oils, your pastas, any of that kind of stuff. The processed meat is actually better than eating any of that kind of stuff. These are like your deli, ham, stuff like that, hot dogs, different things like that are kind of processed, right? So again, you can eat those. I personally would recommend keeping that to a minimum, though. The best way to do it is to have whole food meats, right? Um, Again, ruminant animals, the meat and the fat from ruminant animals is best. So, you're looking at cows, ground beef, your different types of steak. Those are all really good options. Um, if you're into like elk, deer, moose, whatever it would be, right? Those are all really good options. People do eat chicken as well. Some people eat pork as well. Of course, bacon, comes from a pig, so that's pork as well. Um, seafood, seafood actually is a good thing to incorporate as well, because there are different nutrients that you can get from seafood. So shrimp, salmon, um, crabs like crab legs or um, there's so many different types of fish and so forth. Those all fit as a carnivore diet. Within carnivore, there are some people that talk about the lion diet. So you might be asking, okay, what is the lion diet? The lion diet is basically beef, salt, and water. So you're drinking water, you're seasoning with salt, and you're eating beef. Um, within that, it can be ground beef, but typically people do tend to eat a lot of steak when they're eating that way on the lion diet. It doesn't mean that you have to do that. Like if you want to do more carnivore related rather than lion, where you're mixing in different types of meats, seafood, and so forth. Eggs is another one that is very big on carnivore. It's not really, it doesn't fit lion diet, but it fits carnivore. So if you're doing carnivore, you can definitely do eggs. I know people that will eat basically eggs and ground beef, and that's all that they eat all the time. And they're perfectly fine with it and they're thriving with it. So that's a really good one. There's another thing that's out there that you hear a lot, and that is triple B and E: beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And this was meant as your ultimate elimination type diet. You're only eating beef, you're only eating butter, bacon, or eggs, right? And when it comes to drinking, you should pretty much just drink water. You can season with salt, and that's what you pretty much do. And it really kind of started as like, okay, let try that as a 30-day challenge or a 60 or a 90-day challenge. And people have found great results doing that. They find that when you do any type of an elimination like that, you're eliminating some of the things like dairy that may have been causing weight stalls, or just you're eliminating other things like pork or chicken that maybe was causing you a little bit of pain and an autoimmune disease you had or something, any of those types of things. And you eliminated a lot of different types of meats and so forth, because you're just doing the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And people see a lot of really good results with that. So that's another subset within carnivore that you can do. All right. So going back, just the whole idea of carnivore, um, there are people out there that will drink coffee and some people that don't. If you're not a coffee drinker, then you're going to be like me and you just don't worry about it and you just pretty much drink water. If you're a coffee drinker, I would recommend to try and keep it as minimal as possible, and don't put any sugar in your coffee, obviously, because that goes against the carnivore diet as well. The sugar causes inflammation and so forth. So another thing that's talked a lot about is, what can you drink other than water? We talked a little bit about coffee. Really, you should just be drinking water. Uh, there is some like sparkling and flavored waters that you can drink, but a lot of those do happen to have some sort of sugar or artificial sweeteners in them. Um, there's also things like bubbly, which is basically water with a little bit of flavoring, but again, they might have some artificial sweeteners in them, um, or even natural flavoring, which could be some sort of sweetener. All right, so going back, just looking at the basics again of carnivore, um, it's easier to say what not to eat, right? So again, don't eat any sugar. Um, don't drink like sodas or anything like that, even if it's artificial sweetener, right? So no sugar, no seed oils. Stay away from seed oils. When you're cooking your food, when you're cooking your meat, you want to use butter or tallow or bacon fat. Like when you cook up bacon, save the bacon fat, right? The grease that you get, and you can use that to cook up different foods. Just earlier today, I had some pork chops that I used some bacon fat, bacon grease, with the pork chops, and it tasted great that way. So you can always, get a jar and save your bacon grease. Some people leave it out on their kitchen counter. Some people put it in their fridge. I've been putting mine in the fridge. Um, and then when I need it, I just, get some out and I use that to cook with. So bacon fat, tallow, butter, ghee. These are all different things that you can cook with. Um, and they're much better than using any types of seed oils. The seed oils are really, really bad for you. So we want to stay away from those on the carnivore diet. So we talked about what not to eat here again. May I just go back into really quick one last time what would be good things to eat? And you want to start with the muscle meat and the fat from ruminant animals. Um, again, you can have like chicken, you can have turkey, and all those other different things that aren't from ruminant animals. You can have seafood and so forth. But you want to have it predominantly most of your meals are going to come from ruminant animals. Organ meats are really optional. If you like organ meats, go ahead and have some. Um, don't overdo it though, because organs are very nutritionally dense. And because of that, if you have too much, it can be a bit of a problem and cause some toxicity issues. So don't overdo the organ meats. If you do, eat them. And if you don't like them, you don't have to have them. So, no big worry there. So I hope this video helps you out with getting started on the carnivore diet, helps to give you a little bit of a better idea of what the carnivore diet is, what you can eat on the carnivore diet, what you can drink on the diet, and then what you can't eat or drink on the diet. So if you like this video, go ahead and like it and share it with your friends and family on social media so that we can get this video out to more people and help more people that are getting started with the carnivore diet.